ladies and gentlemen, here we are, number 19.
Back once
Another
again.
sweep up. We're back again. What did we do? Like a calm 4 hours on Saturday night. Big. Yes,
Cash,
it sounded
cash.
like what? Fishbowl is some of the thing going on. Very echoey. Listen, what do you want? Right? What do you want from us? If you want it to be complete perfection first time around, then join the Patreon, patreon.com, cuties.
Slide that
And
in.
yeah, and then we'll be able to afford it. But me and Streets are doing this on a wing and a prayer, and holding it together. I think it wasn't that bad.
Holding it down, son. It
Yeah,
was fun as fuck
it was fun
to
as fuck,
do.
and to be honest, that's all that mattered. Yeah, we're gonna do another one. It will sound a lot better. We know what the problems were. Doesn't matter. Thank you for
Onwards and
listening.
upwards, son.
Onwards and upwards. Like, I consider it to be a raging success when a Nigerian man gives you a signed picture of himself signed to someone else, and then it
That was
falls
that
off
was
and
it falls on your
breaks,
head.
falls off, nearly takes you out, breaks, and then he's just like, you go and get another frame, you. Powerful Larry. Powerful Larry. Yeah, it was fun. And
Shout out Laz and the Gypsy Prince. Thanks for
yep,
joining us.
she's powerful. I think that's going to be the crew. I think that
Yeah.
has to be it, doesn't it? I think every now and again we'll bring in a couple of speciality extras, or when people aren't available. But let's be honest, who's really not available in this day and age? Like what?
That is right.
Yeah. Don't tell me you got other things on. What have you got on? What possibly? What
100%.
what are you gonna do? Sit in a garden alone?
Yeah. You know what? Every bit of me is trying to resist the urge to go off on a tangent, but I'm going to go off on a tangent. It's going to be a bit
Here,
of a rant, actually. Yeah.
hit me.
So, obviously, lockdown 2.0 is upon us. And I don't do the shameless plug, but we run a thing, the Workout Mafia. Check it out, online
Yeah,
training.
yeah, yeah. Workout Mafia, crew them.
And coming soon, Combat College for all your boxing needs. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, super pumped for that.
Yeah,
But
I'm quite.
the thing is, it's like we hold it down. It's always the plan to do some online. It definitely has its benefits.
Yeah,
It's a perfect platform for people that can't make it to the gym or for whatever reason. Certain gyms have taken to talking shit about it when gyms reopened, and now are crawling back to the online space. And a few more comments, and I'm going to name drop them, hit them up style. But I'm just going to leave it at: don't talk shit. Focus on building your own business. Don't try and
hit me.
tear other people's down. Otherwise, it's going to get nasty around here. And
Name
that's my
names.
little rant.
Name names. Name names.
A previous place I may have worked.
Okay. Does it end in X?
It does.
Yeah. Fuck you. Listen, you know my opinion on that, and I like a lot of people that are still there. I don't think they last much longer. I don't think pockets are deep enough to sustain the everything going on there, and I also don't know how long this lasts. Where,
Yep.
let's be honest, if that was busy, great. If that's half, less great. If you're at a
Yeah.
quarter with increased costs, fucking not good.
Yeah,
Not
man.
good.
And see, the difference is, wish them the best, crack the fuck on, because that's not my thing anymore. But don't talk about things that don't concern you is the overlying
Yeah,
theme right
that's
in.
pretty much it, and like it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Um,
But now
when
it does. And now you've got to come crawling back saying, like, oh, actually, yeah, no, we're doing that now too.
Yeah. So the people that I know that, and I will name these because it's positive. The people that I
Yeah.
know, and I'm quite friendly with the owner of Foundry. Shout out to Dave. They've done it right. Okay, so
Yeah.
they've built proper online stuff. They've built program. What I liked, they lent out their equipment as well to members. And like during
That's
the first
amazing.
lockdown, that's amazing, right?
Don't
That's
be
what you
fair
need.
weather. Don't be like,
Yeah,
all of a sudden be like, okay, now this needs to happen, so we're going to do that. That's
yeah,
amazing. Have the things in place and support the community all the way through. You know what I
exactly.
mean? With the mafia, like we took a massive hit when gyms reopened, but you just keep it running. You don't want to be the people that are
No,
there when things are good or bad, depending on which side of the spectrum you're looking at, and then pissing off.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
ride or die, son.
You have to, and I think Dig Me are another one in London that have done well
Yeah,
from this.
a few. To be fair, and like, because who expected this? So like, it's not like we had the platform before. Loads of places didn't, and some places have done such an awesome job. And that's it. Like we always say, adapt and overcome. Otherwise, you get crushed.
I mean, you know, I've would be and still am, but also am one of them now. I used to call outside training as like white lightning park PT. Like it was just the lesser optimal option for me. Like I
Oh,
don't,
for
I,
sure.
but now I've got Equinox spelled NOC at the end,
Love
right?
it.
Yeah. Who doesn't love an underground piss stained garage? Who doesn't?
Mate, you can't ask for more than that. Do you know what's
Exactly.
weird with the outside training as well? One time I was legitimately just training with a mate, and we
Yeah.
were in one of the royal parks,
Yeah.
and we got kicked. They're
Oh
like,
no, you get licensed for them. You got to be licensed for a Royal.
yeah, they're like, are you a trainer? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, you can't be here. I'm like, yeah, but he's a trainer too. We're literally just training together. We're just mates training.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're holding my job against me. Like, I get it
Yeah.
if I'm like charging. I guess he doesn't know the difference, and everyone uses that excuse. But I was like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, my instant
They ain't cheap
go-to,
either. Those
600
licenses
quid a year, I think it is.
for a year more, bro. It was
Oh,
over a
really?
grand. Yeah.
I'd have put that shit up then. See, now,
Yeah.
if someone comes up to me and asks me any question, I just look at them and go, what, are you a copper? Right? Well, I've got nothing else to say to them. I don't know you. Who are you? Yeah, fuck it, I live here.
My
Well,
mum said don't talk to
yeah,
strangers. Fuck off.
you live in Victoria Park. You don't know that. Can't prove it. I'm off. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, the only problem with the online vibe is that I think that there's a lot of people out there that see this as like the new angle. Like, yeah,
Oh, for sure. People are quitting jobs over the shit, and it's like, okay,
right.
steady on.
Yeah,
Like, just
relax. Yeah, I don't do
that's the
in-person
thing,
PT anymore. Do you not? Do you not?
right? And that's why, like, for something like with our combat college, it'll be so like we'll just be talking to the camera. But
Yeah,
I personally find it hard to do like a boxing, but that's just me personally, because you want to have the little tweaks and see it, and if it's a jittery connection. So I just leave that to one-on-one, and you do condition. Everyone does their own thing,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
But some people just like, yeah, this is the only way. And I was like, just know what it is. Know what it is.
Yeah,
It's a nice avenue. It's an additional avenue, but it's not the only way.
this is it, right? And other than
And that goes two
obviously,
ways, motherfuckers.
with this is it, right? So I just I'm super skeptical in any vibe at the minute that's like this is it
Yeah.
and only it, right? This is it, and it's just like, well, the online PTs before were the online PTs, the in-person ones were the in-person ones, and like you're kind of meeting in the middle now. Like for moi on papier, like it's good because when I've got clients that are traveling, they just set me up in the corner of the hotel room, and I don't have to pay for that privilege. I get paid to sit in someone else's hotel room for a change, and then you just do a massage, right? You just
Don't
give
lie,
the
mate.
guy
You're
some
always
face
getting
time.
paid to be in hotel rooms.
Yeah, but that's for a very different. That's for a very different thing. That's for my extensive foot modelling career. But yeah, like it's whatever. So now my favorite of all of them still is that no one is allowed to go on holiday abroad or in the UK unless it's for work, and then a work trip's okay. That's my favorite of those new rules.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All of them, like you could see, just as though. Well, I mean, let's be real. We listened to the announcement. I was confused as fuck. I did.
I mean,
I listened to
did
that
we
and
know?
didn't. Yeah,
Did
we
we
were watching the
know?
fights. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
going. Listen, his voice was playing. But anyway, reading
I had
up
it
on
on
it.
my phone, didn't I? Like
Yeah,
it was like you don't get the telly.
but all you're doing is looking for loopholes.
Ambiguity. I want to know though, who was the bad boy, the fucking savage who leaked the email to everyone? Because that's got to be close to treason, right?
Right?
You can't.
And who was fucking organising the time on that? 4, 5, 6:30, all rock up at 7. Eddie Hearn must have been, mate, I've got a card on,
Yeah,
son.
I mean, I just think they just went fuck it, we're doing it. Don't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently that the email got leaked and sent round. Like they sent it to the BBC, which is, I mean, it's a bit rude, isn't it? It's a bit rude. So they sent it to the BBC, and then like Boz was like, well, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to tell everyone now what's going on here, and I have to explain why the BBC knows first. And I would imagine he was frantically trying to deal with all of the MPs and everyone else going on. Like, could you not have told me about this? Like, how did I find out? Because let's be honest, like
right now.
Who's a normal MP? Like, if you're an MP, you're not one of the. There's very few of them that are from the working classes, are they? Like, they're not going to be like, oh mate, these things happen. You know what I mean? Beers Thursday. Oh no, we do Wednesday. You prick. They're going to like take. You know what they're going to take?
To be fair, it'd be fuckload better if they were. But yeah, I get.
They're going to take umbrage. That's what they'll take. I've taken umbrage on this, Boris. They ain't even fucking Boris. It's like Alexander, isn't it? It's Alexander Tiffin Boris Johnson. Tiffin. It's a cake. Sure. Anyway. But yeah, so now here we are. Only work only. Anyone that sat there listening to the four-man fight companion, okay, I want to address this double quick because I've done this to a few people now, and when the video comes out, I will also address this double quick. It wasn't Thursday. Yeah? Science fact. Science fact number 2. We get paid, so it's work. Fuck you. Science fact number 3. It was socially distanced. Science fact number 4. I stuck a Q-tip up Jesse's nose and called it a COVID test. And it came back negative.
Can't ask for more than that.
You can't ask for more than that. What do you want? Larry wasn't having the same Q-tip. I tried.
And we couldn't do it from home. Ticks all the boxes.
You can't do it from home. Otherwise, listen, it's 4 pay-per-views. Larry's not doing the pay-per-view. He had dump about you buying him a pizza. Can't get that geezer buying a pay-per-view. Powerful. Right. It was a big weekend. It
was.
It really was.
Knockout City.
It was really bad. We're going to go into that in a minute because there was a crowd at one of the events as well, which was weird.
It was weird. Isn't it weird how you adapt?
But do you know what it looked like? It looked like the California Love video where they had a ring of people and then no one. Right? It wasn't like a proper crowd. You know,
it was like my favorite mosh pit back in Oz. it was at a uni, and it was like
wait. How does one have a favorite mosh pit?
Oh man, like I love a good mosh, but this was a terrible mosh, which is why it's my favorite. Because while they were trying to crowd surf, there wasn't enough people for this big fella. He just fell through the middle onto the floor. Brilliant. Not enough people to hold him out. It was a bit too scattered, and hole was made, but exploited. Loved it.
Fuck's sake. So we'll start with Cage. As we know that, as we can see from the wall, Streets realised when he came here on Saturday that our man here, my sister bought me this, right? Our man here, who's the bare knuckle tattooed Brighton fighter, yes, he has a raging erection, and yes, he's also done his beans on his shorts.
Because I had that tour previously and I thought that was a joke, but it is legitimately rocking a hard on.
It's rocking a hard on, ready to fist fight. That's how it is. To be fair, that is what we're going to get in Latin above the door when we get a studio. Jackson punching. Boom. I need my sister to find out where she got that from. I told you we need to get you the counter one.
Fuck yeah. Boom. Put it right up.
I only watched Anderson Silva out of respect for Anderson Silva, and it looked like it was going all right until he got a coof and ended up hanging onto the ref's leg, which was a little bit sad.
Yeah, it was.
It's just like his punch resistance has gone, isn't it? But he seems to like it didn't. You're getting punched by a professional fighter like Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is probably the biggest underachiever in MMA history, right? And he still nicks big wins.
Yeah, and when he said, I was like, "Holy shit, this is the future!" And then
and it just never was.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a proper shame. I don't know what the vibe is with that.
He
But yeah,
also too, like which rightfully so, that's Anderson Silva. Like at whatever age, it's still Anderson, but
yeah,
he was showing a lot of respect in the early rounds, and
as
I
you
think
should.
sort of like round 3 on, he's like, okay, yeah, I'll start putting the foot on the gas,
Yeah,
and then by round
yeah,
4, it was
yeah. I
yeah.
thought
So
Silva. He looked good in 1 and 2.
he really did, and like when he does his, deception movements with his hand, you never know what the fuck's coming, right? And
Yeah,
anything could be coming. He did that spinning back kick to the thigh. That was nice.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it was great that it was against someone like Hall, who respected him so much, gave him the respect he deserved for his final fight.
mhm,
And because that's the thing, it, they deserve that. There's been years before that fight would have gone very differently,
yeah. Of
and
course.
it's just nice when people show that level of respect. And yeah, it was sad, but also it's time.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument for him to be on the Mount Rushmore of of
Oh yeah,
of MMA, right? You probably can't say that he's the greatest, but you 100% do not get John Jones without Anderson Silva.
yep.
Like he's a trailblazer. I mean,
Adesanya too. They're
yeah,
of
like
that blueprint.
exactly. Like they're the model of it. It's the next gen, and like John will probably have a successor, which has based their entire style on him. Like, let's be honest, right? The Lieber knockout, serious, right?
Oh,
The
mate, Forrest
Vitro
Griffin
knockout,
stepping up,
the
stepping up,
Forrest Griffin one was just appalling.
going up in weight, and then just in the matrix. It's like, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah. It just like it just punched the energy out of him, and what they weren't big shots. The Vitor one,
Bobbing and
toe
weaving
kick.
kicks as well. Kicks. Bobbing and weaving fucking kicks.
There it is. Right?
Vitor, that was,
Yeah,
and I love Vitor,
yeah.
but woo,
I mean,
Anderson's something different.
Anderson versus Chael, probably one of the best fights in UFC history, and he still pulled it out.
How do you get punched up for 24 minutes and come out with pretty much not a scratch on it? Chael looked worse than him, and he
Hmm.
barely got hit for 24 of those
Just
minutes.
had his head on his chest, getting
Yeah.
amazing. If he retires, cool. If he carries on, cool. Like, do what you want.
To keep fighting after snapping your leg so badly, gang shit. Gang shit.
Yeah, that was one of the few times in combat sports where, and across all combat sports, where you just like, huh. That's all you could do. Just, huh. Oh, his leg fell off. Like Tyrone Spong had one of those, but it wasn't the same. It didn't like wrap around the geezer's leg, and then he just was on the floor going fucking ah.
Yeah.
Bad times.
You remember
Bad times.
Kazushi Sakuraba when his ear just came off and he just took that so cash. He's just like, oh, my ear's like,
Yeah, my ears come off.
ah,
My ears. We've got some more ear talk a little bit later. Should we do UK card? Because we did that for 4 hours, but may as well just go over it in case people don't want to listen to 4 hours in a fishbowl. Fuck you. Right. Marshall versus Rankin, whatever her name is, the Scottish girl who plays bassoon. We had a little bit of a laugh about that, right? Who plays bassoon? How do you pick up the bassoon? Like, who decides? Like, at what point do you get issued?
We had to Google what the fuck it was.
I thought the bassoon was the big brass that went around you, because there's one of them that you stand in and it's just whatever.
Like the fat kid in Simpsons plays. Doesn't he play one of them? Sorry, the hyper narrative Ralph.
Ralph. Yeah. I'm in danger. Powerful Ralph. Basically Marshall potentially could be the baddest of the baddest bitches.
Oh my God.
She was wicked.
The skill on just it is like just cool. She looks just like a Tyson Fury. The way she fights makes sense with the trainer, but
yep.
Fucking beautiful. Use of range, everything should be crack. Just that was such a beautiful performance. Absolutely loved that one.
Yeah, long punches. They were long and slow, and then in the last 30%, they looked like they really had just like whip and talk on them. And listen, we did it on the companion, and we were all unanimous in that fight should have been stopped by her corner.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
I
She was
don't.
even looking for it.
She looked at the corner and took a knee in her corner, and her corner, like at that point, the corner like should have been like, I've left that a bit late. Let me jump up and sort this out. Like
Yeah,
like she took abuse there for no reason.
yeah, absolutely. That and look, like we said it in the competitive, it's not like the fight was like and like, oh, maybe you can pull it apart. She was getting picked off all night. It clearly wasn't her night. Why let her take? Because they were really starting to land. The accumulation effect was going on. Just there'll be another night.
Protect them.
It definitely wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, she had the like Rankin had the first round where she kind of came out and tried to like maraud and brawl and you know, like for someone that's a classic classy fighter, you know, she's basically doing the download / not getting taken out and just and it just beat the shit out of her. Kambosos versus Selby. Kambosos is our boy. I would like to have him on the podcast, but I would also be very worried about how intense he would be. And I've never ever seen anyone do a 12 round with an ex-champion and then immediately just go, I promise you I'm going to go and train tonight. You're like, oh,
fucking savage. He's a good friend of Terry Nicholas. Shout out, Terry. He's making his pro debut soon. Absolute savage. Fought in Commonwealth, everything like brilliant fight. I can't wait to see that. George was sparring partner with Manny. They which is
that, didn't they?
a great thing to do and mention once, but we were talking about that on the companion. It gets to the point of being disrespectful where he's got his own career and he's doing great things. Like they kept coming up on the screen. It's like, oh right, yeah, but he's like in an eliminator for a world title. He's done stuff since then. Like that's one of the things he's done. He showed on the night, went into hostile territory again, beat the hometown-ish boy again. Awesome. Like not if you listen to the commentary for the first few rounds, but
they flip-flopped big, didn't they? They flip-flopped so big. It was Selby. Is that red one? Selby.
You know,
yes, so classy. Maybe the Pacquiao thing, right? Because he got a bit of a head on, isn't he? And old Kambosos, he's got a bit of a Swede, right? So, Swede, the biggest head, pound for pound, in the world, Ray Beltran, ex-Manny Pacquiao sparring partner, wild card. So maybe they're like, giant head, sparring partner Pacquiao, same weight division. Got to mention it a few times because Beltran has got a fucking mooey on him.
He does.
It's remarkable is the only way to describe that head. You just look at it and you just go, oh, are you one of these Funko Pop things? Shout out to Ray Beltran. He's a bad motherfucker.
He fucking is.
But you may or may not be the inspiration for all pops. Giant head. Anyway, Joe Joyce has got a massive head as well. Like that's
he does.
Yeah, that's a cabinet of a head. That. But Kambosos, he had that. He was very, very twitchy. He was very reactive. He's got, everything he threw was hard. Everything was there to hurt, and he rattled Selby a few times.
Intensity level 1,000,000. Like I've been following for a long time on the training. There's just like they must be some intense fucking sessions because he gives it everything on the pads, on the bags. It looks like he's out to drop a body every single day.
Yeah,
just bad intentions, and that's going to be needed for now. What that opens him up to, the names in the hat. There's some heavy hitters there, which we'll get to one of them.
After fight hug was an angry hug. When they touched gloves a few times, it was angry. Everything about that dude is angry, and I just am all about it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. He 100% goes back to Sydney. Sydney?
Yeah.
Sylvania district of Sydney, right? Goes to his local coffee shop, does a lot of very, very emotive slam poetry to really get it out. Really get it out. And then he's all right for a couple of days, but then he's also not.
Got to feed the beast again.
Yeah. Like, imagine having Bellew, the Diaz brothers, and Kambosos in a caravan. You know what I mean? Like, who comes out? None of them. That's the 4 angriest men at the planet. They will sit there at their cornflakes in the morning, just screw facing them. Fucking Kellogg's. Usyk versus Del Boy. Del Boy
What a
did
fight.
himself. Yeah, Del Boy did himself a proper justice, right?
Yep.
He didn't get like I thought he was going to get slept. And I will say this: there was a few moments in the mid rounds where it looked like decidedly that Usyk was probably on the cusp of at least like putting him on his arse and then finishing him, but for some reason didn't. Whatever. I thought he looked like Del Boy looked good. He was switching stances. He was like what Larry was saying, right? He just was punching like shoulder, chin, throat,
Anything
knee,
you get, balls.
Yeah, he got it in a 3-card trick a few times. Like he didn't even try and jab him, did he? He just was like, I'm just going to punch you in the balls.
Yeah, I mean, and we discussed this too. It's like Maidana Mayweather 1, where he just came out and mean mugged him. He's throwing these awkward fucking angles. Someone that's so slick and seen everything, you got to throw something that they're less likely to have seen because it's just it's like the beginner swing. You know, you get hit by the shots where you're like, what the fuck? That was like a back fist.
It's like when you play chess with someone that's really good at chess, and what you do is like street rules. I know what I'll do. I'll take out my knight, have that, and they're like, what have you done that for? And you're like, what do you mean, what have I done that for? Like, what do you think I'm thinking?
I always really cheat. I just cheat. I don't know the rules, so I'm just like, checkmate, bitch. First
king me, motherfucker. But anyway, look, I don't want to hear that Usyk is too small. I don't want to hear that he's anything. Like, it's his second fight at heavyweight. He's done Chaz, and he stopped him. So he's got a 50% knockout ratio at heavyweight now. I think that I think that of the heavyweights, I think that he probably can outbox any of the slick boxers not named Fury, because Fury is just it's the size.
Oh, to be fair, you can include some Furies, just not Tyson's.
Yeah, we're not talking about him. We're not talking about them. We're not talking about him. Although I would quite like to get Tommy on here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't talk about boxing. I'd only talk about Love Island. Powerful Love Island. How did he not batter someone? Yeah. Right, we're going to... Hold on. Let me just have a little... 26 minutes because there's a fucking cat sitting outside annoying me. Right, let me just
get him.
That, and I'm going to...
Get him.
I'm gonna get...
Went limp.
What's that? Motherfucker. Usyk is... I mean, he's clearly got a dig on him as well.
Yeah, are we recording it? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah. Usyk's clearly got, he's got enough power to be quite troubling, but it's the volume, isn't it? And it's the accuracy of the shots. And when he was whipping those, spin-off southpaw fucking mega dragon punch koofs, they were dangerous. And, I just think that it's a case, he ain't fought for a year, neither is Del Boy. He's fighting in a new division against Del Boy's an animal, right?
Yeah. He'll make you go to war, whoever you are. One thing that hasn't come, I'm not sure. We were discussing, I thought Usyk did hurt his hand around 10 or something like that.
He gave it that, didn't he?
He was shaking it, and it seemed like there were times where previous in the fight he was throwing it that he wasn't. So nothing's come up. I think kind of it's a boss move if he did hurt it to just not say anything and just be like, I won and fuck it. I'm not sure if that did happen or not. It kind of seemed like it did. Irrespectively,
it looked like it did.
Yeah. Irrespectively, Del Boy fought a great. He did what he needed to do, which was make it a scrap. You are not going to outbox Usyk. Forget it. So, it's the pro game. Make it a war. He did it. He did it well. He didn't win the fight.
No.
Just the talk of all that is madness. Yeah.
9-3 if you're being particularly fair.
He did in the start because Usyk was reading it. He knew that the pace that Derek started with, there was no way in hell he was going to be able to keep that, right? No. So I think it was a bit of okay, cool. Let's take some of this mustard off. He did that. It was a smart move, but it was a great fight. He did a good account of himself, but he didn't win.
No, and I don't really get where Caldwell and Bellew and them lot. I know they're his mate and all that, but I was listening to something the
Elio,
other
I
day.
get like he's still like he'll be salty forever. It'll just
Yeah,
be like if he could be associated somehow with someone that beats Usyk, he'll be a happy man. So
yeah, but there was I was watching IFL and they said that some of Usyk's own corner thought that it was a draw, and I was like, ooh, so
yeah,
maybe you didn't understand him because like who thought that was a draw? Like there was no way that was six, unless they're just pure, unequivocal, like Del Boy's going forward, Usyk's on the back foot, therefore. Like real like
yeah,
route one basic sort of
yeah.
views. Yeah. Look good, let's see what happens. He's now WBO mandatory, which
He is.
what does that like does AJ do it? Does he bin it off? Like for me, I think from a political view, it makes more sense to kind of let that go, right? You drop a belt. Maybe people say that you're avoiding Usyk, but the long and short of it is that you've got the Fury fight ready to go. So no one's really going to say that to you because Fury is way more dangerous than Usyk currently. If you get past Fury, now you have another champion to do, and now you get all of the belts. Where before it's kind of like it
Yeah,
makes it more. It makes it a bigger fight. It for the
for sure. And
go on.
no, I was going to say for Usyk too. I think if he vacates, this is just because ultimately, like I adore Usyk. I think he's a sick person. He's an epic fighter. I think the Tyson Fury match is a very tough one because Fury has the skill and the size. Like that is a huge individual in front of you. And I think if he can pick up that strap, go down to the super jumbo mega cruiser, fucking whatever they're going to call this new division, become three division champ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like what you said there, you see someone like Usyk, 6'4", and you're like, oh, he's a big fucker. Right, but then when you see someone that's Fury size, when they're in the 6'10s and the 6'11s, you're like,
and move like that too. That's the thing.
But they're just uncomfortably big. And like like my one of my closest mates is 6'4". He's like, you're like, oh yeah, you're tall, yeah, bothered. Right? When they're in that 6'8" and above, they're just like, you're just fucking huge.
It wasn't even an exhibit. Legitimately, when he was sitting down, he was as tall as me. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. That's a huge man, huge man. Let's go stateside, and we'll go for Michaela Mayer and Borodvinka. I mean, the Angry Valley girl, as she likes to call herself. Respect.
Big fan of Mayer. Big fan of her.
So am I. It makes more sense than what Jesse's into, but that's fine. She, to be fair, 9 out of the 10 rounds, comfortably. Like, she shut shit down. She looked good. She was happy on the inside. Like, the only thing that's a little bit, I'm going to say this, but yes, queens. The amount of times with female boxing, and it's more times than not, that you see a hellacious shot come out of nowhere, and it just bounces off their forehead. Yeah. It's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just don't like. I don't know, like bone density, tendons. Who knows, right?
Also, just production of power. Like, how often do you like the skill? Incredible. How often are the knockout percentages relative? Do you know what I mean? It's just like even what she's 14-0 now, 5 KOs, and she is sick, former Olympian, fucking incredible skill set. But to see like, okay, yeah, cool.
I mean, there's only been one, isn't there? Which was Anne Wolf.
Oh my God. I get nightmares of that to this day.
Yeah, exactly. If someone can tell me another female boxer who
I can add males into that. That was one of the biggest knockouts you will see. Holy shit.
Ever. Do you know how bad of a fucking woman that she was, that Kirkland was terrified of her? And Kirkland was an animal. He had a little face.
And Kirkland's been around as well.
Kirkland's been around. Like, when he's just like, I can't train with her no more. She's just too much. Like,
and he'd lose whenever he wouldn't train with her. Do you remember when she had that car rig set up with the fucking heavy bag in front?
Say to you, the punch bag, and she's driving it into him.
And he's like, she won't stop.
You move back, or I'm gonna fucking run you over. Right. We need to reach out. I want to reach out to her, but I feel like she might get very angry with me.
It would just be sitting.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a Zoom reprimand. There's a list, isn't there? I want Floyd Senior. Is a man. Hey, what? I want that for an hour.
He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah, I want JT, as we went over with Russ. I want JT because I just don't know what he's going to say. Right? And he's been like that. He was like that in like the gym. Yeah, he's always been like that. He's just a little bit less articulate now. And yeah, like Anne Wolf would be pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't know if
man.
she's that busy. Let's have a little look. She
Right.
ain't got an Instagram. That's scary, isn't it? That's scary. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but Maya looked good. And that puts a WBO champ. You said that they didn't have a belt for her. Gutted.
Yeah.
Rude.
Imagine winning the title. Like it's bad enough, like we were saying, winning the title with small amount of fans or no fans is often the case.
That was ESPN, weren't it? There was no fans.
Yeah, no fans. Just the random crew and shit. But like also not getting the fucking belt. It's like, this is my moment, man. Where is it?
Liberty, that.
Only thing I'll say, straight out, she's like calling out Terry Harper so they can have unification. There's a very fine lady in the middle of all that. Carry the Tenders, boom, boom. Don't be too quick to call out. Like, get that strap, son.
Next week, isn't it? That's next Saturday.
Yeah.
So she's back on next week.
Yeah.
She gets.
Yeah, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Yeah. She gets to the UK on Saturday. So we'll sort out a time for her, see how camp's going. Nicest person ever. Truly nice.
Legend.
Right? Maybe a little bit, treacherous to not be rooting for the British fighter, but the long short of it is, how can you not love Tanders? She's lovely.
Mate.
We'll see. Like everyone wants that fight now. Let's go. My boy Prograis is back.
Back big as well.
How disdainful did he seem? Like everything he was like weird, like hammer, coof. Like everything he threw was a coof, wasn't it?
I love how they're like, speaking of talking about random shit, the commentators are like talking about his spear fishing and how he can hold his breath for like 4 minutes. It's like, what? All right. They're like, because he came in overweight, but they're like, but he can hold his breath for 4 minutes. So I'm like, all right.
It's proper tough, isn't it? Like, what has that got to do with any? Also, spear fishing. That's power, isn't it? That's a proper move. That. Yeah. But he looked good. I thought he looked really like he ain't fought since the Josh Taylor fight, has he?
Yeah.
So
25 and 1 now. That was a massive. What was it? Third round, wasn't it? Massive loop and left. Just.
Yep.
Booyah!
Bush done. See you later.
I like him.
Yeah, I
super
like
exciting fighter.
Well. I like Prograis a lot. I like his attitude. I like how he speaks. I like his
style.
Yeah. I like I mean, that Josh Taylor fight. That was razor thin, that. And I actually had Prograis. I had him 1 round. Like, not angry with the decision at all. I thought a draw was probably the fairest result for all. But I just kind of,
What a war.
Great fight, especially under the circumstances, under the event. Both their biggest fight, both for a unification, both for the end of the Super Series.
That Super Series is so epic.
Yeah.
So good.
Schaefer would be good to have a little chat with, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he's just sitting in his fucking teak wood office. Just like, I just have a feeling that he would 100% talk to us about what marble actually feels like, because the marbles that we've seen aren't actually marble, right? He would just like look at you. He would look at my chair and just go, that's not leather, is it?
What's the thread count?
Yeah. Well, no. There is no thread count when it comes to leather.
Yeah, right? That's how refined I am.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a level of I mean that there. He would call that cordial. What year was that? And you're like, barefoot. What year is that? Blossom Hill. What do you want?
Yeah. So special, son. That's what year
exactly.
it is.
We're like, what's you? But yeah, I reckon Schaefer would be a G. I reckon it'd be fun. Right. Inoue versus
Oh.
Maloney, right? Shout out to Maloney. He took that fight. We knew what was going to happen there. Inoue, he's Ippo for a start. It's exactly what he is. He's an animal. He's. I don't understand the massive exaggeration of his pound for pound status. Personally,
yeah,
right?
I'm massively on his nuts. So like I get it with regards to like competition and stuff because it's very early. So yeah, absolutely. But to say top 3, no, but top 10 for sure, because like way he's gone up and just carries that power. It's what the fuck are his hands made of? Like to jump up that amount of weight. And also how hardy in the Donaire fight, he broke his orbital in the second round. 10 rounds with a fractured orbital and win the fight and win it well. Jesus Christ.
Listen, the Japanese are no joke, right? It's my number one place that I would love to go to. I have intrinsic Japanese art on my arm forever, and there's going to be another set post-Boza lockdown. Like the culture, they're just a warrior culture.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just...
there is one bit though where I was like, oh, it doesn't get any worse than this. I think it was round 6, he dropped him, right? So
with the swoop back hook.
Yeah. So he's dropped, beautiful shot too, quick as fuck. He's dropped him. You're in round 6, so you're like, okay, I'm halfway through this. I'm getting smashed. I've got one of the hardest punches in boxing. And this tweet came up, you know how they show the tweets. And it's
right?
And it's like, I see the KO coming soon. And you're just like, fucking hell, this could not get any worse.
I'm glad you mentioned that, right? And it was like, hashtag Maloney's gonna die. So unnecessary, wasn't it? It was like hashtag Inoue KO.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, guys, that's not fair.
Fucking hell.
That's not kind at all.
Rude.
Rude. But honestly, like he is quality. He's fun to watch. I just don't like you. Tyson Fury. They have him linked to. They have him like number 8, number 7, number 8 pound for pound.
Come on,
like
now.
You can't. You can't have him above Loma. You can't have him above Golovkin. To be fair. Golovkin's got to be in the mid-range of that, like the 5s and the 6s and the 7s, etc. Like,
it is also too like, how are you doing this pound for pound thing? Because if it's like, you know, the way it was supposed to be, like if any pound for any pound, or is it like the ability? Because that kind of rules out heavyweights. If you're doing it like, so the argument for Triple G is always like the reason they never put him that high is like he doesn't change division. Like he's just, but also neither do heavies. They can't, right? Yeah. So that whole pound for pound thing is. Well, yeah.
Super mega fucking cruiser, whatever it's
Megatron. Fucking loving you. Want to see him again. Gave himself a 3 out of 10 for his performance. Savage.
I mean, to be fair, like I understand that because you can see that he wanted to come out and put on a show. He wanted to come out and he wanted to absolutely destroy that guy, and he got caught a lot with shots that you just wouldn't expect.
Yeah,
but he was fighting him. He wasn't boxing him. He wasn't shutting him down. He was like warring. He's like, this is my US debut. I want to be the Konnichiwa King, right?
Yeah. And he's like, he just knows he's got the equalizer. So like, head movement stuff kind of goes up because like, I'll take one to fucking land one, and you could see he kind of had that mentality. And then when he started putting the boxing together, that's when it's like, good night.
The shot that ended it, which looked like he did it in his forehead, not his chin, which I will note. And when you land someone clean on their forehead that hard that their leg buckles under them, huge.
That's a big shot.
Like he gave it to him. Like he got that big, bless him. But yeah, like he's a G. Like he deserves to be. He's in the conversation. He's just not in that.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's early doors.
Yeah. I will say this, that the post the chat of Mount Punchmore, Steve in the rap shop / Works of Heart has that under construction.
Boom!
2 of them. Yeah. We're going 20 inches by 9 inches, so it should be about they by they, and we just need to work out what faces that we're going to get velcroed.
I like.
Yeah. in it. Right. Moronga and Johnson. What was that, Wednesday or something? Wasn't it? It wasn't on Friday.
Wednesday,
maybe.
Thursday, so yeah. All the days are the
they
fucking
go on,
same.
don't they? Moronga's a G, and he split that boy's face open. He made him look like Predator at the end.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. It was a bit of a combo of the uppercut and the head.
Yeah, I mean, but
largely that.
Yeah. I liked that the uppercut was mighty. I liked that it split his face open. You don't want to see that happen to anyone, but he had his lip was just gone. But
over him style, it proper was.
Him, and then he looked and he was just like, "Oh yeah, this is done." He just sloped off, didn't he? Oh yeah, this is done. This is finished. This. What do you want to say?
So I mean, look, he actually put up. John's put up a good fight because Jaime is a savage. Yeah. So yeah, but Jesus Christ, that was dirty. That was a big thing.
Absolutely.
He's a huge puncher, man.
Who, Moronga?
Yeah.
He is. He's a proper animal. And then a name that looks shockingly like it, Mandalengo, right, versus Gonzalez, where
Magdaleno is a Cruz Gonzalez. Yeah.
Right. Gonzalez kind of looked like a big John O'Carroll, didn't he? He had the beautiful beard and the proper gear.
Slightly different in punching power.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Mangalendo just literally went out and just went, gonna windmill into you until you're not standing anymore. And that's exactly what happened. It was like the first exchange was the only exchange, and it didn't stop until the fight stopped, right? He fucking ironed him. Absolutely battered him.
Like he owed him money. And Magdaleno, he's lost to Teofimo, Terry Flanagan, Roman Martinez, so quality guys, and Isaac now. So that was a fucking huge saving. Just stormed across, beat the fuck out of him, dropped him, got up, did it again. Good night.
Where's my paycheck?
And another big uppercut KO.
I think that should take us to where we're going to go now.
The segue.
I'm wearing a pair of Tank Box Raw shorts. This is not a conflict with our sponsor, Box Smart. Just want to say, but they've got a screaming gorilla on them. What am I meant to do?
Right? Take my money.
I bought 2 pairs of shorts and I bought the hoodie. Of course I did. What do you want?
Had to be done.
Screaming gorilla. Ridiculous. That was probably the best Santa Cruz I've seen in a long time. For those first few, like the first 5.
Mate, it's like Santa Cruz G. That face, look like he's got such a sweet innocent face. Boy fights, man. Fucking hell, that punch output is second to none.
Did you see him afterwards? Like they interviewed him ES Eli setback reporting that
right.
He saw him and he was just like, I got caught. I'm all right. What do you want? Bothered. Just absolute animal. Just doesn't care. Davies, to be fair, you could probably say that's got to be in contention with KO of the year, isn't it?
Fuck yes. Fuck yeah.
It's got to be because it was not all right. So first was it round 1? Where it looked like Tank kind of got dropped. It was a foot tangle with punches.
Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, that was the first. Yeah. I think it was, yeah.
Probably right to say it was a trip.
Oh, yeah, massive. On the replay, you properly see the legs were this.
Yeah, but what a pro Santa Cruz is to be diving in on that. I know your legs are tangled up. We're getting it. It was a great fight. It for a while it lasted, and then for whatever reason, Santa Cruz decided to try and trade, didn't he? He looked like he caught Tank a little bit, and Tank he stiffened. He didn't wobble. He's just stiffened a little bit, and he just was like, "Oh, I'm gonna Baltimore you, boy." And
that's always the danger with that punch output. You got to stand there to throw them, and Tank's a bad motherfucker to throw with. He is terrifying. That power is
really is, isn't he?
Fucking really ridiculous.
Is. Him and Lopez is the fight, isn't it?
Oh, what a fight that's going to be. And you got Haney in the mix too. Jesus Christ, there's some good fights. Haney's sick, man.
He is, but he's not Tank. I'm not wearing Haney shorts, am I? Just saying. I mean, Tank
I saw Haney spar, and it was like fucking.
Was you just like, what is going on?
Yeah. I was like, who the fuck? Oh, okay, that's definitely all right. Cool. Jesus Christ, man! Yeah, kid brings a super exciting division, and they're all young.
Yeah, yeah. Tank seems a lot. He seems a lot better at 135.
Yeah, and it makes, because he does seem different, and he's got his little one now, which, you know, it'll change a person, you know, so which is great, because he seems like a focused Tank is a terrifying prospect, because the only thing is, does he go the Mayweather route or does he go the Broner route? You know, it's
at the minute it's going down the Mayweather route,
which is fantastic, because you remember for a while he was missing weight and all that shit, and but
all I can say is that maybe the TMT lot have learned their lessons with Broner. Yeah, because they did. I mean, because like undeniable,
he did the whole camp in Vegas this time, and got him away from all the shit, and just like, you're here, and Tank's like, I want to do all my camps there from now on. So.
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's just like he's got something to provide for now. He's not balling out of control anymore. Like it's just like, but the thing is, like Broner's apparently fighting in January, which is good, I guess. I don't know what weight.
Yeah, let's see what weight. And also, Floyd did a better job of kind of getting more towards the back seat, like compared to the previous.
Kept going up to the ring though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why have you got your Pharrell I'm happy hat on, you donut? That's not a good look.
It never is. It's one of them ones. The price tag is probably fucking God knows what. So.
But you know what's really confusing about that situation, right? So you know, Tank has his corner.
Yeah.
Floyd's not in it. But Floyd, you know, on all of the promos...
Bro, it's like Eubank Senior. It's like there with his monocle and his fucking tux, like just standing. You remember? Yeah, but you're like, why are you there? What are you doing?
Why are you doing pads with him? He's got his corner. Yeah. Like, I don't understand.
And Coach Cal was sick. Those relationships are awesome. You know, with Tank's background, like that's the guy you want there. You know what I mean?
I just don't understand the relationship unless the TMT lot are very much so like, you know, we're gonna get Floyd in, we're gonna do some gram, we're gonna get some Twitter, like literally anything Floyd does.
It's definitely not gonna hurt you, is it? Look how many eyes are gonna be on that.
2 million views, so it's only gonna be a good thing. But yeah, that Davis Santa Cruz fight was the one that had the California love ring of people. Didn't even make sense, did it? Like it didn't make sense. Like if you've got a crowd, you've got a crowd. But those it was a proper ring of peeps that were not distanced. Like I would understand if it was like
you spread them out.
You know, in like groups of 4 or something. But it wasn't. Where was that?
Maybe that's how they sold it to them. Like, it's this bigger platform with only 9,000 people. But then they just didn't know they were going to be like, we're going to make it look like this.
Is that what it was? 9,000?
Oh, fuck knows. I think so, yeah. Or I heard one of the shows had 9,000 of something or other. It was a select crowd. I'm not sure if it was that one. I might.
All I'm going to say, if you and me are in that crowd and we're in a bubble and I'm like, Streets, look, there's a bit of space up on that fence. There's pretty much ringside that. Should we do it? We're there, right? We're there.
Yeah.
And when the security comes and says, what are you doing here? Obviously, my response is, what, you a fucking copper? Right? And I'm going back to my seat. All right. When you turn your back, I'm coming back here, though, obviously. So, what do you want?
We can do this all night, baby.
Yeah. Literally, I'm that guy that's been wankered before, and I've been up to a DJ booth asking for, can you play that song that goes, no, 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 no.
There's no limits.
Yeah. And then they look at you and they just like, you're a prick. And then I'm like, the next part of it goes, no, 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 no. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, 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 no. No, no, there's no limit. Yeah? Techno, 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 techno. Wicked. Fight action, swept. But we do have quite a lot of, we have some very frank and open discussions to have, Streets. Before we do that, though, London Cryo, shout out to them. Big sponsor, C&CC 25 will knock 25% off your full body cryotherapy. Stand in a fucking cold tube, recover, be a bad man. North of the wall life. Listen.
Do it before Thursday.
Yeah, do it before Thursday. I think that they're trying to wrangle medical therapeutics.
Oh, well, there you go. Do it after Thursday then. Fucking brilliant.
Whatever. It's
You
not
need
my
something to
judgment.
fill your day, right? You need
Listen,
something to do.
I am
No better
all
way.
about choice. Okay, if I'm willing to take that 0.01% mortality risk, I'm gonna stand in a cold tube. What do I care?
Fuck yeah.
25% discount, CCC 25. Boom. Um, we will. Should we say? Well, I want to save Tay Tay to last news because that's
Oh,
that's a
fucking.
while.
Well, speaking of scandal, should we do the whole glove thing then? Because
Yes. Yeah. Because I didn't know about this. Tell me. Educate me.
So pre-fight, Davis has come out in his Mexican gear like Mayweather did, and backstage in his warm-up, he had the matching Grant's gloves. He always fights with Grant's gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, even Marcelo was like, "You've got those gloves." He came out in the white winning gloves. And you're like, oh, and totally didn't notice until someone put up the pictures. And I'm not saying it is just a weird thing. And Gabriel Rosado was like, look, if anything, the winnings provides more protection. It's not a problem at all. And I'm not saying it's a problem, but what I'm saying is if it's not signed off, you can't even say, oh, but winnings are, because you don't know if it's a winning glove. And it's like the conversation we had with Russ. Like, and look, I'm not saying at all, I'm playing devil's advocate, like the fight unfolded the way the fight happens. That uppercut was from hell. It would have happened whatever gloves. But we got to be a bit careful with being able to use gloves that aren't fucking signed off. Do you know what I mean? Because how do you know?
But they must have been signed off, though. No, like you can't just whip out gloves and get people to accept it. Especially,
Well, Dillian did.
Yeah, but that's All of
And like, there was no on the, because you know how good you get your hand wrap signed off, right?
There's no signature on the.
Nah.
Ooh.
So then you know, and it's just like, I mean, it could be nothing, but it's just odd, you know. Like also doing the whole when you're wrapped up and everything, and you've got you supply your gloves, and you do bring a selection, but they're generally the same make. You know what I mean? You might warm up and then
that is really odd. Really, especially with
unless he's doubling up on sponsorship, it might be like, you know, he gets half from grants, half from winning. I don't know. And look, it could be not, but it is. I don't know. There's something to look.
The Floyd lot have always had a good relationship with Grant. Like he's been Grant for forever.
Yeah.
That is odd, especially with the Floyd camp being so particular about the gloves that the fighters fight in and the opponents fight in. Like they've stated that an awful lot with all of their fighters, which bang to rights, because those Everlast MX gloves.
Oh, them MX were a fucking joke. That was like someone drove over them in a steamroller.
They like listen up. The Lonsdale Sports Direct bad boys, aren't they?
With the Velcro that doesn't quite fit. Just like this little bit of.
Why does it
but I do want to say, look, I'm not saying that it's like anything untoward happened. I am just saying that is something that did happen.
It's peculiar.
Exactly. It's an odd and perhaps, you know, they should just like kind of enforce the rule of like, look, if you're bringing gloves to get signed off, make sure they're the gloves that get fucking used. So there is you just don't want any marks over. You know, you want to know that's it. No discussion. We're going to talk about a big one when we get to good old Tay Tay.
Do you think that for some reason, maybe the winning gloves were the commission backup for both sides? For whatever reason, the Santa Cruz lot said, no, you're not wearing them. They just went, right, well, I'll wear the backup gloves. Maybe it was something like that. Who knows? But has there been anything reported on it? Or they've just said
it's just gone around today. But it's like there's no investigation, nothing like that happening. It's just like the pictures going up and then everyone's kind of weighing in on the topic. And it is just like the main thing is because, look, you're not going to use winnings as to get an unfair advantage. They provide more protection. They're good if you've got hand problems. They're going to provide more cushioning. But the thing is, if it's an unsigned off, you don't know what glove that is. That could be that's the main problem. And I'm definitely not saying that is what happened, but that opens the realm because fuck, if you're using a glove that's not signed off, make me a 4-ounce glove. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I very much so look forward to Boxing Loop doing a Gervonta video because he factually killed Leo Santa Cruz. But
that was actually terrifying. Like that was the most worried I've been since Marquez slept Pacquiao in the fourth, where it was proper tense of just like, holy shit, is he going to move?
I thought the Hatton one was worse than that. When Pacquiao, I mean, he killed Hatton. Like he
did, but he did show signs of movements relatively soon.
What you mean, a seizure?
Yeah, it's moving. I didn't think he was dead.
When you're laying and it's like the systematic impulse breathing whilst you're frothing at the mouth, that's not a good vibe.
Yeah, but that happened previous, right? So if we're going sequentially, the most recent one I can remember was Pacquiao Marquez, where you're just like, oh, fuck, please move. He went out heavy and his head just snapped. Yeah, that was a beautiful setup knockout.
Did you see the geezer try and rob John Jones's car?
No.
So
fucking hell, if you're gonna pick someone, Jesus Christ.
It's pretty powerful, right? So John's obviously
especially he's been doing all that training with guns and dogs and all that sort of shit as well. Like if he doesn't beat the fuck out of him, God knows
this is what happened, right? So this geezer's on the CCTV, and I can't. It's like I think it's like a Porsche-ish. You can't really see because it's dark, right? And he's there. In he comes to the right, and he's there trying to get into the car, and then you just see the garage door open, and then you got John Jones with a fucking shotgun just standing there, and he chases to get the geezer. Just is like, blur, right? As if it ain't bad enough that he's going to beat the fuck out of you, he's going to shoot you as well.
And his dog's going to eat your face.
Yeah, you're like, this geezer broke a pregnant lady's arm. What's he going to do to me? You know what I mean? Oh, I hope he ain't be on the fucking Blizzy and Viagra. It's going to be a long night. Yeah, just run and don't look back and hope he don't get you. Yeah, powerful, John. Conor and Dustin Poirier signed. Apparently happening. Number 2. I mean, first time around, that was a bit much, wasn't it? Like, I quite like Poirier.
Yeah.
Fucking ironed. It was just like, you talked a lot and you got super aggressive and you got really, really beaten up.
Yeah, I like Dustin as well. I think they had to put Conor on a card after he leaked them fucking messages of saying, there's nothing in the coming months. You have to put him on a card in the coming months.
Yeah, you got to. To be fair, Poirier did hurt Khabib. Right?
Yeah.
Probably the only one of that recent batch that's actually done any sort of dent. Yeah, he got his head pulled off. But he
was really like down on his loss, and it's like obviously you believe in yourself, but he was like, everyone that believes, it's like, I think people kind of that's how people thought it was going to go.
Yeah, we're fine with it,
did
mate.
A good account. Yeah,
you done well. Like you sent his knees wobbling, and he grabbed up.
And it's Khabib, like
yeah, exactly. It's Khabib. So, Tay-Tay. Oh, Tay-Tay. He's come out.
I feel like we need another hour just to go through the list of what he's fucking blaming this on now.
I would quite like to do a just sharing Patreon episode of Tay-Tay, but to be honest, I don't really want to warrant it with what it deserves because it's just insane, isn't it? Like, after the fight happened, my suit was too heavy.
Yeah.
Okay? How much did that suit weigh? 18 kilos, including the batteries. Okay. Now, insert multiple videos of you doing fucking everything wearing a 20 kilo Everlast vest. Everything. Dips, pull-ups, pads, sled. Like, what are you doing sled with a vest on for anyway? Right? Like everything he was doing it in a vest. And it's like, look, that's more than the suit. And you're doing a full session this. Like, what? Like, okay, fine. Yeah. Then we had the ridiculousness of Tyson didn't have his fist in the glove. Insane. When you've got a lace-up glove on, when you've got it wrapped by commission, by the corner that's in there, signed off, like there's like 4 layers of protocol before you get your hand in the glove. At no point do you have a flappy glove with a fist in it. Like you can't do it.
Also, if you did, you'd probably break your fucking wrist. Like,
Fucking right.
in no way is being able to hold, like, having your hand just flapping out with, like, this
Yeah.
bit of the glove. Like, you're going to hit something and roll. Like, that's a worse position to be in. Like,
It's
that's
awful.
not.
Yeah. Like I mean, that was just a non-thing. I don't get it.
Also,
And
the
then
size of his fucking hands.
oh my god.
Like, I want to see the logistics. Oh, like, just give Tyson a glove and say, pull your hand out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like so that was Feb. That was directly after the fact. And everyone's like, right, okay, the knockout king, the one of the scariest people ever to be a heavyweight champion has been not just defeated, but fucking beat up. Like he got beat
Yep.
up, he got out full he got outboxed in the first one, right?
Yep.
Got a draw. Second time around, got absolutely fucking bad, right? And
Yep.
it was bad. He got dropped twice. The corner had to come in and intervene. He mugged him off. Guarantee you, Tyson was talking shit to him every time he was in the clenches, just calling him a dosser and everything else. Who knows what else he was doing? The Gypsy King is no joke, right? And then on top of that, like it's just like, and then your corner, Mark Breland, who's the only one of your corner that actually has any sort of background, let alone a legendary one like Breland,
Yep.
jumps in to save you, right? Pride aside, who knows what would have happened there?
Yeah.
And if you are suffering from the things that you've complained about this weekend, such as my bottle was poisoned and tampered with what he feels was a muscle relaxant. What?
I mean, look, the level of, for a start, getting rid of Breland was the worst idea ever.
Yep.
One. Two, so not only are you getting rid of him, and that's the end of his working career with you, you're like sabotaging his, like, if anybody chooses to believe that, then you go, this guy has done so much and you're like fucking him over big time. Look, those are massive allegations. That's some Panama Lewis shit, you know,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. If you're Breland and you care and you've got people around you that, I mean, you would assume that Breland, so God knows what percentage he makes from a Deontay fight. But I would assume that in the past 5-6 fights, he's probably made enough money to be relatively fine for the rest of his life, right?
Yeah.
Because he's had some big fights, Deontay. Like, you know, the 5s, the 6 to 7 millions, and then the big one with Tyson. Like, he's all been paid out on that. If you're the Breland camp, knowing that fight, where was that? Was that Vegas, that one, weren't it?
Vegas, yeah. I was there.
Yeah. So VADA will keep your samples for years. They go into a vault, right? And if you are on a relaxant, like you say you are, which means that you were poisoned, have VADA test for it. Pay up,
Yep.
right? It's going to cost you 10, 15, 20 grand. But if you're that sure that this is what's going on, VADA can prove that for you very easily.
Also,
right?
how does this come to your head like all these months later?
I don't know. So it's either he's very, very smart for PR, which he might be, or he's fucking loopy, which he also might be.
It looks like, because the list is massive of things saying, like, he was sabotaged, there was the glove, Ricky Hatton pulled his hand out.
Don't bring Hatton into this. Like, you know, Ricky might have a little bit of a blizzy past. Like, he's not a cheat. Well, I don't know if he's a cheat, but I'm just saying, like, it didn't look like he was pulling the gloves down to me, and that was the first fight, right? And the second fight.
Yeah, I think I don't know what he's alleging, and
so he's alleged the muscle relaxant that he theorizes that Breland had a part of. Okay, so that's 2 there. So Breland conspired to poison him, and he poisoned him with a muscle relaxant. Someone thinks maybe Breland. The gloves, apparently a 10-ounce brand new glove has no space in it. And it's like, but you're not signed off on this glove, you moron.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into the gloves in a bit. Then there was a hard egg-shaped, potentially egg weight in his glove, and it's like, so you're saying that he punched you with an egg weight somehow on his hand, which,
And his hand's not broken.
of course, his hand's not destroyed. But on top of that, no one from the commission saw you do that either. Right. Okay. Was it invisible? Maybe. Okay. And then what was the other one?
Also, when they raise their hands, you're in wraps, right? So what, this thing didn't just go rattling. How does his hand not break when you're hitting someone with a fucking eggway? Also, yeah, something egg-shaped did crack, like leave a dent. His fucking hands. Like,
Yeah.
he's a big dude punching the shit out of it. That's the thing. It's not your suit that weighs a lot. It's fury hanging on you. That's what's fucking heavy. That weighs a shitload more than 18 kilos.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's I can't the list is astonishing.
Yeah, it really is.
The list and the betrayal of Breland is back again, because and he did a video that he 100% filmed on a flip phone, right? That had someone edit it afterwards, and he was like, and it was super passionate. You know, Tay is very articulate, right? He's a great speaker, and he's just like, and even with all this, you couldn't get this king out of here, and it's like, oh, bro, like, you're lucky that you didn't get stretched off, because that was going one way, and there's no way that a brand new signed commission 10-ounce glove can strip the skin from the inside of my ear.
That was right.
Like,
I knew there was something with the commission and the judge or something.
Yeah, it's a 7-foot man who's punched you in the ear. Okay, now if I remember
cuts anywhere,
rightly,
man.
Well, do you remember Koto gave Manny a fucking cauliflower?
Yeah.
Right? And they're 5'6", 5'7". You know, Koto's got a crack on him. Fine. He's not 7 foot, and he's not 26 stone. That's going to happen. Right? I've had it before where I've been punched in the ear, and like the ear itself just, it's like an under the skin graze, and it fucking hurts. You're just like, oh, prick. Right?
Yeah, like, where's the science on that? Like, it kind of course, it did happen. Yeah, look, man, and that's why I think it's awesome. If Usyk did get the hand injury, he just didn't even mention it. He's like, you know what, fuck it. Because
Have you seen the meme of David Hay like looking at that, and you thought my excuse was shit?
It's true though, isn't it?
At least he took his boot off and showed that his toe was broken. Like, it was a shit excuse, right? It really was a shit excuse, but it was broken. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. There wasn't witchcraft going on.
Yeah. Also, when the list of not just excuses but amount of people to blame rises, you know, when you've got, what's that thing, when there's multiple people around you, maybe you're looking at the wrong person. Like, just accept it.
How does Shelley Finkel allow this to go ahead? How does, Finkel's his manager. Like, if that goes up and it gets sent to him, Shelley's a guy, isn't it?
Him.
Shelley's an old Jewish geezer. Shout out. Well, he's one of my peoples, right? He's looking at that and he just goes, huh. Oh, Deontay's gone a little bit loopy. Get him on the phone, please. Can you take that down? Because you look fucking insane. Right, very passionate, cool. It looks a little bit like the end of Fight Club, but let's get rid of it. Yeah, cool, sick, bosh, have that, right? You can't. He must have just like done it and then just gone. No, I'm not changing this.
Yeah,
I'm a king. And what?
Yeah, man. It looks bad. It sounds bad. It's just like you don't need that. And also, when has it ever someone gone, oh yeah, that makes it? No, everyone's just going to go, man, shut the fuck up. Come on now, like leave it to the ring. It never does.
Yeah. It's weird that it's been left this long, and everything has expired, and Fury's fighting some German geezer now, and all of this stuff, and he's coming out with things like, I got offered more money to fight Anthony Joshua, and I picked you, and it's like, well, yeah, you did pick him, but you also knew that he'd been out the ring, and you knew that that wasn't really the Fury, and you knew that all of these things to validate yourself as the WBC champ was there. Like, it was very opportunistic on your time, And it was
Yeah.
also very opportunistic from Fury's time, but Fury.
And that money was more against AJ, but he still didn't agree to terms. Like, he wasn't happy with the percentage split. So you can't, that wasn't a done deal. Do you know what I mean?
What was it with AJ? It was like, it was 15 million flat, wasn't it? And he was like, no, I'm the Like, this is the thing that I don't understand, right? Pride and ego aside, okay? AJ, from pure numbers, we can see this, right?
Yeah.
AJ on his lowest pay fight as a world champion, like 4X's you against a no one. That's his marketability. That's not because he's got some fucking direct line into someone. It's because he's the darling of British boxing. He will fill a stadium. Fact.
Yeah.
No one cares about you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting a career high pay at 15, set it aside. Maybe negotiate that you get some of the pay-per-view points. Fine. All good. But don't be like, this is a 50-50 or nothing, because it's obviously going to be nothing. Because the market dictates your value. You don't get to dictate it. If that was the case, I'd be like 25 grand a session down in Equinox. You know what I mean? Because if like reality is a suggestion, apparently. And there it is. We still need to get them sorted. But yeah, like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah, man, it's and like, we love Tay. So
I love him. Like anyone that screams Bomb Squad and makes. Do you know what my favorite Tay video is of all time?
Is it the ring chick fucking terrified?
No.
Have you seen when she's like, bomb, and the chick behind him's like,
yeah, that was quality. Right, but I liked the little period where he's got his queen, who's a caramel beauty, and he was like passion kissing her, just as a 1 minute long Instagram. It's just like, what a G, like how can anyone hate you? And then you've just gone a little bit loopy. The only thing I'm going to say is that maybe Tyson punched a chunk of his bone into his brain, and that's putting pressure on it, and that should be sorted out.
Bro, like, look, it does a lot. And it you're out on a public platform getting exposed to the world. People go into dark places after that. And it's sad seeing shit like this, because you're like, fuck, man, like, just hope he's all right, because this is some crazy talk. It's crazy shit he's saying.
I messaged you when I saw that flash up, and I stand by it. I don't think we see Deontay again. I think that he is now. I don't think that he can be Deontay Wilder again. I don't like. He can keep telling himself that he's the king and whatever he says, he's the spirit of fucking something. I don't think he believes that anymore. I think he's had that literally beaten out of him. I don't think he's ever had that smashing before, even in training, even in sparring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think that, but to be fair, like even the Hay sparring videos, like Hay cracks him and wobbles him and stuff like that. But I just don't think I don't think Hay was big enough to manhandle him. I think that was probably the first time in his life where he's literally just been fucking played with. And it was. And you always have that equalizer, like you've said, but you can't use it, which is even worse.
And exactly, and that's everything. And also too, your opponents look at you differently, because it's like Tyson. They were defeated before they get in the ring, and then you rack up a couple of losses and they go in with like, it can be done. And that's the thing. It hits a lot harder when you've got that air of invincibility, because once that goes, you see it all the time, man.
It would be nice for him. It would be. Whoever this was, he got Michael Hunter in his corner now. Is it Michael Hunter? It's another no-name someone. Malik Scott.
You went with Malik King Scott.
Yeah, it's right. Like, right, you are one of the four biggest names in heavyweight boxing, right? You have the potential to be one of the four horsemen in a new era, okay? How about we get rid of the geezer who knows nothing, who's a PE teacher, right? How about that we do some interviewing, right? Sit down, go for the cream of the crop, right? There's not that many of them. You got like Freddie, you got the Mayweathers, you've got Buddy McGirt.
He shot Floyd down. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He said, which rightfully, he was like, he bet against me in every fight. Fuck him.
fine, right? Fine. But he
Maybe if he trains you, he won't bet against you.
help you,
Yeah.
right? What maybe you need him on side to bring you into the new era, because we need to see Deontay change. He has to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was always, for me, it was always that of the top tier, right? I always felt that Fury beat AJ because Fury's game is always rhythm disruption up until the Deontay fight where he beat the fuck out of him. Okay, AJ and Deontay is, for me, probably 60-40, where AJ has the ability and the discipline to outbox him, right? But with the equalizer always being Deontay's power and his avant-garde abstract style of just slinging and winging, but that can be neutralized.
Yeah.
Right? And with someone as big as him, and you would assume that AJ is probably physically a lot stronger than Deontay because he's just a lot bigger.
I think he's a lot stronger, but I think Wilder is more powerful with the one-hitter quitter because
absolutely. But you can say that he's probably arguably the hardest puncher in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a fact. But you still have to use it. You still have to use the delivery method. And like what Fury said, he's got two punches. He's got the jab and then the straight after it. And I've got all the punches.
Yeah.
And
what makes it interesting to me, that the equalizer for both of them is AJ has far superior boxing skill, but shows often he don't. I mean, who the fuck wants someone that powerful up in their grill? But the Takam fight, you name it, where they get in, he likes that. And
he doesn't like it close, and he shows.
And he don't like the big shot. Yeah, and that's the, it gets a little bit like shinny-ish. And that's the thing. So like, if you can put cracks in it, to me, that's why that's always been a fascinating fight. And when people are like, oh, it's definitely this, definitely, it's like, nah, same thing. Like, oh, Wilder's too strong, he'll spark him. No, like the skill is there for AJ, the power is there for Wilder. That fight to me always makes sense. Like, I'll always want to see that fight.
Absolutely. And then you would probably assume that someone like an Usyk is going to give them absolutely nothing. And probably would shut someone, because the skill gap between Deontay and an Usyk would be vast.
Yeah.
The technical elements of it would be vast. But then you could say that with Ortiz. The technical skill of Ortiz, and Ortiz like shut him out up until he got done.
And that's the thing.
You never know, right? So that would be for me 70-30. Usyk again with that equalizer, but is he the same? Let's see. Oh well. Set that up. That's another one in the books. That.
Gosh.
Right. See you in a minute.
See you guys soon.